Hello there, welcome back to another show. Today I'm talking about my favourite video games. These are not the best, these are my favourites. I'm kind of a gamer, but not always. Like, I'm a fair gamer. I only started off in the end of the PS3 era, and the PS4. I also do a lot of bits of PC gaming. But I don't do it all the time. I'm more of a movie fan than a player. So I get into mood to playing. The reason I got into gaming was because of anxiety and depression, and that helped. Just doing that, just somehow it occupied my mind and it worked for me. So I play games sometimes. So there's certain kind of games I like. I like open world games, and really so I can wander around, do my own thing a lot of the time. So you'll find a lot of them here, and plus other games I play with family members. So it's just my favourite games. These will never be. Some of them will be top of the list, some of them won't. Some other people's lists is like these are the games I like, and the games I play again quite happily. The first one, obviously, if you look at the picture, is Batman, the Arkham games, especially Arkham City. Arkham City is the one I play most. I mean, Arkham Asylum was the first one that's really good as well. But towards the end, it kind of loses its place a little bit. To be honest, I kind of play up to the 2/3 mark generally now when I play that Arkham Asylum. At some point, I end up just thinking, that's enough. Because the bit at the end, when you go to fight the Joker, and it's a bit annoying, so I usually just give up and go, well, I'll start again, and play that again. I don't really like the end. And Arkham, the final Arkham Knight game, I really enjoyed, but those bloody tank battles are annoying. Which is something you hear a lot. It's just one of those things, is like, that was something the game did not need. It needed something new to make it different from the first two, but it was not quite as good. It kind of ruined the game for me a little bit. But Arkham City I played 3 or 4 times. I really enjoy Arkham City. It's a limited open world. It's an open world, but there's a limited amount of space. You can go into certain buildings, so meaning you go inside the buildings, so there's lots of other areas. There's a whole underground area we can go into. So basically there's a city below the city which you can explore. You have different places within the environment which you explore, like the Joker's hideout. You've got the hideout of the police, where the police are. You've all these other buildings which you can go inside. And you've also the Arkham City to roam around with lots of thugs to beat up, and lots of story missions to do. And it's just very enjoyable. It's just beyond. I mean, there's also another bit where you go into this museum, which is where the Penguin has his base. Everything's frozen. That's great as well. There's sharks in the water. I mean, it's just a lot of wonderful things. It's wonderful to play again and again, and it's just enjoyable to be in the city and just hang about and do things. There's another one that's not the same people who made this, which is Arkham Origins. It's also a fun game. It's not as good as Arkham City. It's obviously influenced by Arkham City. It uses some of the same maps as Arkham City, but it's not the same. It's not as good. There's some really good bits in it, but it's very influenced by Arkham City. But if you like Arkham City, it's a good one to go if you want something a bit different. But these are fun games. Okay, next is the Red Dead Redemption series. This is 1 and 2. They're both wonderful. They're both really enjoyable. I played both of them. I finished both of them. They're just great. I mean, they're really wonderful. I'm not even the biggest Western fan, but you just are going around the West. You're doing some missions in the West. So you've got a horse. You've got shootouts. You've got fist fights. You've got lots of different places we can go to, get into missions, and the missions are all worked around the locations. So there's limitations of location become interesting. So you can go to old barns, and you can go to old settlements that suddenly have really difficult locations within them. You can be on a ship that's on the river and things, like one of those gambling ships. You have stuff like that. So you have 2 stories. The first one's about John Marston. The second one's about another guy who was part of Marston's gang. So the first one is Marston going around killing people from his gang, his old gang, to save his own life. Then the second one, you jump back in time and you actually are with the gang. And you see the downfall of the gang itself. So you've seen it from the point of view of one of the guys who didn't make it to the second game. A guy who was dying throughout the first game. So it's his last moments, really. And beginning of John Marston's story. So it's weird time travel things, but it works really well. You like both characters. You like the world. It's just a wonderful game. and it's just enjoyable to be in the world. And it's one of those games you keep on playing because you can't stop playing because you need to know what happened, but also it's just so enjoyable to play. It's just so much fun. So the Red Dead games are just wonderful. They're just so enjoyable. I'd highly recommend playing them if you've got the PlayStation or any kind of gaming console has them. Go play them. Yeah, I play on PlayStation. So some of these are exclusive to PlayStation. Now we have GTA 5. GTA 5 has been one of the longest running games in most consoles. It started in PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, moved up to the PS4 and the Xbox of that generation, and then is going to go up to the next generation as well. I mean, it's the same makers of the Red Dead series, and it's the same feel of it's open world, you go and do a lot of stuff, but this one's much more open world where you had your missions, but then you went GTA Online, which is where you go to now, where there's lots more missions that have built up over time. You can go along and mess around and shoot people if you want, or you can go and play the racing games, or you can go and do these different other missions in it with your friends. It's just really enjoyable. I've had it installed for years. I don't play all the time, but it's a good kick around game, and it's a good one to go and play a racing bit for a while if you feel like it, or buy a yacht. Or you can buy different locations. Like in my map, I've got an apartment building, I've got a underground base, I've got a yacht, I've got a biker's bar, which are there for different missions. So you have lots of different missions you can go on, which are the location for them. It is a case of finding friends who have read what to play the game at the time. And the main mission I played twice. I played in PS3 and then PS4. Because I got it on PS3, then when I got it PS4, this is one of the games I got free with it. So I got it, I played it again. It was just much fun. So, yeah, GTA is just a lot of fun. It's really enjoyable. Just nice and silly. You can make it as silly as you want. And you can go in and do a mission in a brutal way, or you can do it in a more subtle way. But usually do the brutal way. Anyway, go play it. It's really fun. Most anyone watching this probably played. And this is the final one from the same makers. This is Max Payne 3, which is a PS3 game. It hasn't been upgraded, which is a shame because it's really good. It's really enjoyable. It's just a shoot 'em up. Max Payne is from the first two games. Now he's shaved his head, he's in a bad mood, and he's in a conspiracy in South America where there's just lots and lots of shooters where you shoot lots and lots of people and go through this whole mission, going through like airports and total shitholes just everywhere, and these office buildings, nightclubs, and some flashbacks as well to his old time in New York. It's just a blast. It's just an unapologetic blast where you just have so much fun doing it. And even when you get killed, you have to start again. It's still enjoyable to try and work out how to win and find the patterns and to find ways to win it. It's just such joy. It's one of those ones I just want to remaster off so I can play it again in a good console, because my PS3 is now not the best of shape. So I'd rather have a good console to replay this one because I want to play it again. So Max Payne 3. Okay, now we have Metal Gear Solid 5. Which is another one I'm obsessed with and I've got it. It's one of the few games I've bought full price. I don't usually buy full, I usually wait until it's a bit cheaper. But Metal Gear Solid I went full price with, and it's a great joy to play. I've still got to play, I've got Death Stranding, I haven't played it yet. It's Hideo Kojima's next game. I'm just waiting to find mood to play it. But this one is wonderful. It's basically a lot of stealth missions. There's a story going through it which you get in every so often, but a lot of time you're going through Afghanistan, attacking bases, stealthing through the bases to get to you, to whatever you need to do. You've got a area where you can build up your own base as well. You've got missions there too. It's just a joy. I mean, you're basically a Solid Snake, and you're, I think it's, I can't remember what Snake's what. To be honest, there's some wonderful weird stuff. Kojima likes having weird themes in it. There's lots of stuff about language and language viruses and things, and so even if you get to cutscenes, they're so weird and wonderful that it's really enjoyable to watch them all. And then you get all these weird scenes with drones, and all these different stalking scenes and different locations, and it's just a joy to play the missions and a joy to see the weird cutscenes and the weird guys in flames and all the rest of the craziness that Kojima can put up together. It's just wonderful. It's mad as hell and a wonderful stealth game, and you can have different you can have a dog that helps you, you can have a sniper that helps you can have lots of different people helping you, but it's limited to one per mission. So you can do a lot of stuff. There's one level I really loved in a dam that was just great. And anyway, just enjoy. This is I'm not sure it was a dam or a bridge, but it was just one section where you had to go down, up and down this one area. It was just amazing. But yeah, it's great fun. It's really great fun. It's one of the ones I probably should replay. And you get a thing where you can actually have where you can play it subtly and stealthily, or you can play it brutally. And the more brutal you are, the more blood you on you. So by the time the game was finished, I had tons of blood on me because I wasn't very nice to people and killed lots. And now we have the Mad Max game, which was actually released at the same time as Metal Gear Solid 5. Again, it was the other game that was released at the same time. It was like, this one's been out to die. You know, basically, Metal Gear Solid is going to be the big hit. This will be the disaster. Well, it did pretty well because I think all people did what I did was basically I played Metal Gear Solid and I heard this game was good, and then I went and played it after that. Because it's wonderful. It's another wonderful open world game. It's really addictive because it's set in a wasteland. You have to try and scrounge to survive. There's lots of chase scenes in the car where you have to do these car wrecks, destroy cars. You can snipe. You can go through all these different locations that are basically battle towns and various other towns with different like head honchos you have to kill off over time. It's just wonderful. It's like I never actually finished the game. I just like exploring. By the time I got to the end, I was like, I've had enough. Cause it's such a big game. I like doing all the side missions and finding all these weird things. And it's like the game itself is so wonderful. But it's not very story focused. It's just about maxing through all these different townships and these different experiences. So the main story doesn't matter so much. You go through different levels of intensity of different areas, and you sort of level up as you go. So, but Mad Max it's not the greatest game in the world, but it's one of the more enjoyable ones. It's one of those games you can sit and go through the world endlessly and just have fun going through the world and discovering things in the world and all these mutant locations, and it's just great. All these weird looking characters and places you have to destroy. So Mad Max, wonderful. Of course, now we have Tomb Raider, which is another wonderful open world game. I mean, it's a game where you progress from area to area, but you can always go back to the areas you've been at before and go explore more. So it is a directed game towards area to area, but you can always come back and do different missions and do different puzzles. And I've never played the old Lara Croft games, but these Tomb Raider games are just wonderful. I mean, I'm really counting the first two. You know, you have Tomb Raider, you have Rise of Tomb Raider. There's this one Shadow of Tomb Raider came out after a different developer. That's okay, but you can tell it's not as good as the first two. It just isn't. Because the first two are just, she's stuck in an island, she has to go off the island, they're trapped, and she has to save all her friends, kill all these people who are working for the baddies and try and figure out what's going on, find a way to get off the island. And the second one, she's actually having to go to find this location this lost paradise and find out what's going on and try and protect her from the villains, and there's lots of underground cities and crazy monsters she has to fight, and it's just wonderful. Again, it's another game where you can go do the story, but you can also go and discover all the different tombs and try and work out all those puzzles of the tombs, and the action's good, the exploration's good. It's another game you can get lost in quite easily, and you can think, where did the night go? I started here and I thought I'd done 10 minutes and it's been 2 hours later. I was like, oh. It's one of those kind of games. There's two of them and I've played both of them more than once. So, Tomb Raider's great fun. Tomb Raider I really enjoy. Now, Tomb Raider was influenced a lot by Uncharted. Uncharted was a really fun series Naughty Dog did. I really enjoy it. It's been so hyped up though now that it's kind of, it's almost been overhyped, so it's almost like, of course it's good. even though it takes about to go, I mean, the first game's good but not great. The second and third games are the really peak games. The fourth one's good as well, but I like 2 and 3 best, really. They're the ones I'd go back to more than any. I mean, they've been remastered to PS4. They'll probably get remastered again. They're really fun games. They're kind of an Indiana Jones adventure game. They're doing a movie of it with Tom Holland. They're just fun games. They're really enjoyable games. There's some really good levels where you're trying to escape through different things, and you've got people chasing you through towns and things, and the trucks and all the rest of it. Really enjoyable. Very much an adventure story. Lots of shooting, lots of threats, and you're also going through ancient worlds and discovering ancient worlds, kind of like Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider and this are very samey. They're influenced by the same kind of movies. I like Tomb Raider a little bit more, but the Uncharted ones are being viewed as better games. I just like that one better. But they're both great. They're both really enjoyable. I'd recommend Uncharted anytime, but especially 2 and 3. They're more fun. They're just more fun. They're like at the games at its peak, where they know what they're doing and they know exactly how long it should be. Like number 4 was too long, and it felt a bit unfocused. But 2 and 3 are, and number 1's a bit clunky, but 2 and 3 are really the best. Okay, another open world game is Infamous 1 and 2, especially 2. 2 is especially good. This is outside of Batman, I would say this is the best superhero game. But it's not a normal superhero where you've been there before. It's like Infamous is like a guy who gets powers. He's around a city trying to stop other horrible people from causing problems. He's trying to discover the reason for existence, the reason for other mutants in existence, and trying to defeat them. And he goes through 2 different stories. The first one feels self-contained, and the second one he goes to New Orleans-ish. It gives a different name, but it's based in New Orleans. And that's the best one. It's just more fun, more enjoyable. It's just like they've worked out the mechanics properly. And you're around this city, there's always variations of different places. So you always feel you're going new, interesting places. So that the map's much more... In the first one, the map's a bit samey at times. You feel kind of... Some places are kind of similar. And the second one, it feels much more developed and much more epic and unique. And you can round cities and jump from building to building and doing all these other stuff and going on rails, and it's just wonderful. It's just a wonderful series of games. Again, hopefully remastered. I mean, Prototype's been remastered. Prototype's the rubbish version of this game, and this gets remasters to the new consoles, so that's really weird. So, yeah, these are good fun. These are really good fun. They're in PS3, but hopefully they'll get an upgrade at some point. And now we have Spider-Man, which is the other superhero game. I like Spider-Man a lot, but I like Infamous more. I like Batman more. It had a really good first game and some nice DLC. I just like the other 2 more so far. But Spider-Man's only one game so far. That's the thing, is it's a good first game. Well, let's see what we do. There's been a DLC, there's been a Miles Morales game that's a shorter game. So we'll see how it goes in the future. But the first one's terrific. It's just not as good as the other 2 that I've mentioned. But it's very, very enjoyable, and there's some wonderful acrobats, and New York's terrific and everything else. It just felt like some of the missions were kind of similar to each other. You felt it needed a bit more invention with the story beats and things. It was very good, but I felt these other 2 games, Infamous and the Arkham City, were both games that had better stories and more invention within the stories for what they're doing. And Spider-Man did. Spider-Man's still good, and hopefully the second one is how they build and do something really, really good. Like they've got the base now, they just have to be inventive with it. Now we have Assassin's Creed this is my yearly game basically. This is the one I do buy every year, the new one, or every 2 years when it comes out. I do buy it. I do enjoy going around stealthing it. You can't stealth these missions, or you can go a bit more gung-ho. I stealth it like crazy. I like stealth games. So I like Assassin's Creed for the stealth. They've tried to improve the fighting. That's good enough. I like going around historical landmarks, discovering the locations, doing the stealth missions, and doing another stealth mission. I like doing that. I like the grind of that. I really enjoy that. It relaxes me when I'm doing it. I like around the world. The last two games were much bigger worlds, which I enjoyed, but they were much more into fighting, and I liked stealth more, and I was kind of annoyed that we kind of had to put up with the fighting. Like, there's certain things you couldn't avoid the fighting with, and I was like, I'm not so keen on this. But, because Assassin's Creed fighting's never that good. It's just not. It's not as fun as some of the Batman or various other games that have better fighting, better moves. You feel you can go around more and do things with the fighting. Assassin's Creed, it just feels like it's very blocky, and they don't actually ever, when you stab them, it doesn't stab properly, and because they spend so much time in the open world, I just feel that their fighting stuff's never that good, so I'd much rather have a stealth thing. So, but I really enjoy Assassin's Creed. I like the grind of it all. My favourite is Syndicate, which is the London-based one. But there's lots of really good ones. And of the new ones, I like Origins is better than Odyssey, because I think Origins is just a better map. I mean, Odyssey had a better character at the centre of it, but Origins is a better story, a better map, so it evens out. And honestly, Odyssey I thought was a bit broken at times. I ran into lots of problems with Odyssey with the bugs. So, that's Assassin's Creed. I really enjoy it. I'm addicted. You know I'll be buying the next one when it's in sale. It's just one of the things I grind through because I really enjoy that. The experience of doing it. Right, now we're Hitman. Hitman, another stealthy game. I've only got into Hitman. I haven't played the other games. I'm just getting into Hitman 1 and 2, the new ones. So I'll probably go back and do the other ones later because I've seen them being played and I enjoy watching them being played. But these new Hitmans I really enjoy. The controls are good. There are plenty of different ways to kill someone, and the puzzle of trying to find ways to kill them is really enjoyable because sometimes you go into an area and it's like, I cannot figure out a way to do this. And it's quite good to try and figure it out. Whether it's do a quick kill and run like hell or be subtle about it. I've managed to kill a few people and run like hell and get away with it, but it just depends. And it's more enjoyable to do the smarter, smoother way of doing things. So there's different ways to do it. I enjoy doing it. I'm looking forward to the third one. And there's various ways to do any kind of kill, so there's different routes you can replay the different levels. So I very much enjoy Hitman. It is a game for people who like stealth, and because I mean, again, the mechanics of this means that it's not the greatest shooting game. It's not really meant to be, so you're meant to actually be subtle. Like if you try and shoot your way through it, you're going to get killed, like instantly. So Hitman's good fun. Hitman's really enjoyable. Okay, now we're going into games that I play with family members, like my niece and nephew and things. And this is Ratchet and Clank. I play with my nephew. Well, I played through it first, then he played through it, and then I played through it again. It's an enjoyable, fun game. Like, yeah, I mean, it's like I just really enjoy it. It's an enjoyably silly game. Well, actually, I played through it once and I played through it again halfway through. Then he took over and I had to restart again. So weird. Deal with children. But yeah, Ratchet and Clank. It's great fun. It's really enjoyable. It's silly. You can pick it up and put it down. You have lots of levels you can explore, but there is a narrative to go from level to level, but you also can go back to the level you were at before to get more goods and get more points and things, and you can always go back and explore the world and really do a lot with it. It's a really enjoyable game. I really had a lot of fun with it. And there's certain levels you can go back to and just get better and better with a certain type of mission. I'm looking forward to the new one. I'm really looking forward. That's the new Ratchet and Clank is the game from PS5 that I am looking forward to the most. To be honest, I mean, there's lots of people saying like, "Oh yeah, Spider-Man" and all this, but it's really Ratchet and Clank for me. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. This is just a great fun game. Next we have Golf with Friends. Another fun game. I play this with my niece. We like to do the golf games together. So when she visits, I play golf games with her and stuff like that, and try to do these crazy golf courses. These are fun. These are there's golf. There's Golf with Friends. There's a PS4 one I've got as well. It's another inside golf. There's a golf with 3 or 4 different types, and you can make up stuff as well. And you can play game courses made by other people too. it's a lot of fun. Golfing games are a lot of fun, especially in the winter when it's dull. You want something silly. These games can cheer you up. I mean, there's nothing more to it. They're just fun. It's a good way to kill like 20 minutes, half an hour. Sometimes you play a course of these games and be absolutely awful at it. So yeah, I'd highly recommend golf games. These little crazy golf games. They are really enjoyable, and I have a blast with them. Also, my niece and nephew, especially my niece, is Turbo Racing. Or Trackmania Turbo. This is good fun. Again, you can actually invent courses. I've got some courses there in the PS4 version of the game that you can. If you're friends with me, you can actually click friends and see the courses my niece made up, and some of them are a bit crazy and a bit impossible because we have fun with them. I like playing other people's courses too. I like playing in main courses. There's VR courses. It's another one you can plug hours into this and just have some fun with some crazy courses and trying different things and having crazy jumps. And this one's a really good game to have in VR though, because the VR, even if you're not playing the VR mode, you're just playing some courses in VR. Some of the crazy jumps you have to do are insane. So this is a really fun game. Not too serious. It's never going to be the greatest game ever. It's just enjoyable. It's just a good time killer of the highest order. If you've got a few people around and you just like being silly. It's a really good silly game. Okay, this one's Burnout Paradise. This is more of one I play with my nephew. I play with my niece a little bit, but being my nephew, this is I play with him with this one online stuff with Need for Speed levels as well. These are just fun, but Burnout Paradise especially because you have lots of different cars that are a bit crazy. You have little cars, you can have cop cars. You smashing through signs. You're doing crazy jumps. You can through a city with various different things, and you're trying to do jumps over bridges, and you're just trying to get all of the challenges done. And some of the challenges are really hard, some of them are really easy. So the hard ones you can drive yourself nuts to try to do. So it's a fun game. It's a really fun game. I bought this one countless times. Luckily, it's quite cheap. But I bought it originally PS3, and then I bought it for them in Xbox. Then I bought it in PS4 for myself. Then I bought one for my nephew in PS4. I'm a sucker for this one. This is enjoyable. This is a really enjoyable game. Really silly. Really, again, you can kill hours in this game, and you can go on motorbikes, and you can go really fast around corners and smash into things. And one of the competitions we have with my niece and nephew is basically who can have the best crash. Because there's crashes, it's like you have to have a spectacular crash. It can't just be an okay crash. It has to spin like and smash into things and cause so much damage. So, Burnout Paradise is a joy, a complete joy. Okay, this one is one with my niece. Actually, I play this with my niece mostly on PC. Sonic Racing and Sonic Racing Transform, both of them, but especially Sonic Racing when they're just fun. I mean, you can go through them and just rack up the new characters and rack up the different things. They're just fun. I probably played Transformer one myself more. I've got the new one as well, but it's not quite as good, I don't think, as these two for just enjoyable time killing enjoyability. I think these two are the better ones. Two other ones are the better ones. The Team Racing one is good, but not quite the same level. Because I don't think it's got the same level of routes that are enjoyable. So, but these are just a ride of enjoyability and silliness. And again, I've got them on different platforms. They're easy to get, and they're fairly cheap, and they're just enjoyable. I mean, you've got to get your money's worth after a couple of hours with these ones. They're just really enjoyable. You do a lot of drifting in them, and you have to be very good at picking up weapons to blow up other cars running about you. And the Transformer stuff, it gets crazier and crazier as the race goes on into different routes, which have new challenges. So yeah, these are great fun. These are really enjoyable, and I highly recommend them. Now we have Overwatch. This is a game I play with me and my nephew, actually. My niece plays it sometimes with me and my nephew. Me and him blowing stuff up. We're terrible at it. We're not that good. I mean, this is my character here. The one that blows stuff up. That's when I play mostly. There's other ones I play as well, but I like that one. I'm going into the wrong one here. I like that one better. It's an enjoyable character to play, but I like doing it. I'm okay some days, other days I'm not so good. Just depends. I think it just depends roughly on the level of player you're playing against. Really, if you're playing against good people, you're going to get trashed. Playing against people of your own level, I can do okay. It's just I'm not that great at it. I'm not great at online games generally, but Overwatch is a lot of fun. I really enjoy Overwatch, and I highly recommend it. It's a good time. There's been a bit of sequel coming out. It's just one of those games that's good to go on for a little while and just mess around with. You don't need to. If you lose, you lose. It doesn't really matter so much. Just give it a go, really. So it's an enjoyable game, so I really have fun with that one. And finally, the last one, you'll be happy to know. My final choice, The Unfinished Swan. It's an indie game. You're just going around this environment and everything's kind of coming, emerging, and you're doing stuff with it. It's hard to explain. It's just a game you should know a lot about as possible. There's other good ones like this. There are indie games that are like Flower, which you're going around trying to restart the world, which I play with Niece a lot. She likes that one. And you've got Journey, another really good one. I'm picking Unfinished Swan because that one is not as famous. Everyone knows Journey and Flower. But Unfinished Swan kind of fell through the cracks a little bit. And it's hard to explain it. It's one of those things you have to experience it. It's just, you'll know it in 2 seconds whether you like the game or not. I don't want to say much more about it, just go and play it. It's really good. And the world is wonderful, and it is sort of like a short story kind of level as you're going through this world and discovering this world and what it's about. It's like, I don't want to explain anything about it really, just go play it. It's really good. And it's very addictive once you start. So that's my list. I hope you enjoyed the list. It's just my list. Don't take it too seriously. There's plenty of games that I'm not good at that aren't on the list because I'm not very good at them. And again, I'm a very mediocre player. I do it for enjoyment. I don't do it to be the best at anything. I started so late that my skill levels are not the most amazing things ever. So I just do it for enjoyment. So I hope you enjoyed that. It's a bit different from my normal videos, but it's good to change it up sometimes. So I'll see you later. Right, bye for now.